Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Gamed by Colleen Charles. Narrated by Kelsey Navarro and Tim Paige. Chapter 1. Sue-Ann. Sue-Ann, could you take that scarf out of the case for me? The blonde bombshell dripping in diamonds and clad in Michael Kors from head to toe points a tapered finger at the Hermes in shades of blue. With the jolt, I stare at the scrap of silk. It closely resembles the scarf that Mark Spencer bought Heather McNeil, starting some epic drama around Duluth. The same one I burned and took a loss on, according to my stellar accountant. Damn, that seems like a lifetime ago. But I had to. No way I was putting that piece of ancient history back out on the floor to upset one of my customers. Bad juju. Of course. That one would look lovely with your eyes. I flash her my most charming grin while I imagine the ka-ching of the till racking up the Benjamins. It's a tough row to hoe running a high-end boutique. Obviously, women don't visit Sue-Ann's every day. My clothes and accessories are more of a splurge. But my unique merchandise and top-notch service keeps the citizens of Duluth coming back for more. Word of mouth and repeat business keep Sue-Ann's in the black. And it's my dream to have more than one store, maybe even one down in the Twin Cities. Someday. Life works in mysterious ways, as my Nana used to say. Years ago, I was a recent UMD graduate with stars in her eyes and a fire in her belly. The thought of working for the man flipped my stomach over, and not in a good way. So I picked myself up from my bootstraps, got a small business loan for young women entrepreneurs, and went to work, turning Sue-Ann's into one of the premier businesses in town. I chew on my lower lip, thinking about the one thing missing. A man. A family of my own. Someone to celebrate wins and lament losses. To cuddle up to during the long, hard Minnesota winters with hot cocoa and marshmallows. Scanning my eyes down the length of the super blonde, I bet she never lacks for male companionship. My love oven's been closed for business for longer than ever before. I used to be so untamed, so spontaneous. But now I'm in a dry spell, one that rivals August in Arizona. The love fest that is my bestie Julia and her hunky hockey husband Adam doesn't help water the lawn of my lady bits. I'm just not sure, the woman says, wrapping the gorgeous scrap of silk around her swan-like neck. I reach over the counter and tie a new bow I learned at a fashion conference, my perfectionist tendencies coming out again. There, now it's perfect. Sue-Ann, you're always right. She widens her eyes and stares at her stunning reflection in the small antique mirror I keep on the display case for exactly this purpose. She unwinds the scarf from her neck and hands it back to me. I'll take it. After wrapping up her purchase in a signature SA monogrammed tissue and placing it in a glossy pink bag, I spend the next few hours helping random walk-ins and sorting True Religion by rinse and cut. Before long, my eyes start to blur, and I put the back of my hand against my forehead. The jingle on the door snaps my eyes wide open as I'm knee-deep in rose gold bangles. I take a few and put them on a jewelry hanger. Hey, bestie, you're a sight for sore eyes. Adam been keeping you up all night again with the mind-blowing sexcapades. Julia's laugh brightens my day, even while a zing of jealousy rifles through me. The love Adam has for Julia is the stuff of legends. They went to hell and back and came out the other side stronger for it. There's nothing they can't handle if they face it together. You know it. Julia walks inside and busies herself making a cup of rooibos from the famous Sue-Ann's loose leaf station. And now that we're trying to get pregnant again, it's like an everyday occurrence. But it's not quite as fun when it has to be penciled in based on my ovulation schedule, you know? Another agonizing clench of my barren ovaries. How's my little godson? She snorts a laugh. Great. At daycare the other day, he hit Josiah Richards in the face with his toy hockey stick. I was mortified, but Adam's sure that means he's going to be the next Gretzky. If my kid gets another strike, he's going to be expelled from kids' company. I smile as I imagine his cherubic face and infectious giggle. Aw, my Charlie. I love that little dude. Just don't ask me to come to every hockey game he plays in, okay? I'm starting to develop a tiny appreciation for the game, but I'm just not there yet. Julia nods. You're off the hook for the time being, but if he ever makes it to any playoff situation, you're required to be in his fan club. That's the first rule of godmothers. I throw my hand up in the air like an oath. I swear I'll be there as much as I can. Maybe when he's big enough, he can come here and help out. Learn about fashion at the same time as putting his opponents in the half Nelson. A little balance never hurt a man, Jules. You love Adam because he's well-rounded and cloaked in morality despite his superstar status. Don't raise an asshat. She pours a splash of cream in her mug and stirs. Believe me, with Adam's family values, that will never happen. Besides, Charlie's named after Adam's dad. Those are pretty big shoes to fill. I stare out the window, a wave of melancholy cresting and then ebbing. The men who are worth it are the ones who look for the reasons not to walk away. Julia's gorgeous eyes meet mine, and a sliver of sadness creeps in before she shudders it. Sadness for me and my perpetually single status. Good thing there are a lot of men like that out there in the sea. I test a smile. Or, in our case, Lake Superior. Let's just hope all the remaining good ones don't all look like whiskery carp. Setting down her mug, Julia gravitates toward the new bangle display and puts 3 of them on her narrow wrist. Do carp have whiskers? They have to, don't they? Or is that catfish? I move to stand behind her, take the blingiest new bracelet out of the plastic shipping wrapper, and slide it on her other wrist. There, now you're perfect. Taking them off, she hands them to me. Put it on my never-ending tab. These will be great for date night. A purr and a meow that sounds more like a demand ring from the velvet kitty bed by the beverage station. What do you want, Catrick? Is Auntie Julia not giving you enough attention today? As I wrap up the bracelets, Julie steps over so she can scratch underneath Catrick's chin. He leans in, those bright blue eyes blinking, his long white silky hair wrapping around Julia's fingers. His soft meows turn to motorboat-like purrs. I still can't believe you named your cat after your all-time favorite movie. Dirty Dancing is a classic, and with Patrick gone, it's more like an homage. Too bad Catrick can't move his hips like that. With one final pat, Julia returns to the counter. Or lift you above his head. That one would go viral. Nobody puts Sue Ann in the corner. With a wink, I hand her the bag. These look gorgeous on you. Don't forget to tell all the WAGs where you got them. I'll send all of them your way. She leans in to hug me and then turns to leave. See you at girls' night. As the bell jingles again, Julia stops dead in her tracks. A huge man stands in the doorway. More like takes up all the space and sucks all the air from the store. He's kind of like a human total eclipse of the sun. His eyes scan the racks of summer dresses, tables piled with cotton t-shirts and twirling accessory stations, until they finally land on me. Are you Sue Ann Johnson? I'm not sure I want to admit it. He looks like he could seriously hurt me. Until a charming grin breaks out on his chiseled face when he sees Julia. His tree-trunk arms reach out and grasp her in a hug. She returns the embrace. Hey, Milo, it's great to see you. Mrs. Spencer, I don't think I've seen you since the Caribou's alumni banquet. Great to see you now. How's Adam and the little guy? A smile splits her wide face. Never better. How's Maisie? She's hitting the books harder than I've ever seen anyone. Even with a nanny, it's hard for her to be back in college. But she's tenacious, and I'm proud of her. I pick my way toward them, finally recognizing the huge man from a Caribou charity event I attended with Adam and Julia. Still not sure what Milo Adamski wants with me. Julia visibly shudders and lets out a low whistle. I can't even imagine being back in college at my age. Maisie has my admiration. He crosses his arms over his muscled torso. If anyone can do it, she can. I've never seen a woman as determined and hard-working as my tiny wife. Even with kids, none of us even feel neglected. She's like some kind of super-duper multitasker. After one final hug, Julia says, "Tell her I'll call her, and we can grab a coffee and a drink and have some girl time. She probably needs a break." I'm sure she'd love it. With a flirty wave, Milo watches Julia slip through the doorway. He turns toward me with an outstretched hand. I clasp it in my own, amazed at the strength within that simple gesture. The man could squash me like a bug with a single squeeze. "Were you looking for a gift for your wife, Maisie?" I ask, eyes widening and mind racing. "Perhaps for a special occasion? We're known for our unique items here at Sue Ann's." His eyes reach the racks of sundresses but end up back on me. "Actually, I hear you're known for something else." I rear back in surprise. Sounds intriguing. Can I offer you a coffee or tea while we talk about it?" I gesture toward the beverage bar. "I'll take a bottle of water, if you have one." "Of course." I walk to the mini fridge and hand him a bottle of Dasani. He holds it in his huge mitt, not even taking the cap off. "It must be challenging, running a boutique like this all by yourself," he comments, eyeing the expensive Hermes scarves in the display case. "But from what I hear, you're really good at what you do." "I have help." I tug my lower lip between my teeth, thinking about Rhonda, my assistant manager and best employee who just left to go back to the Twin Cities and reunite with her boyfriend. It's hard to find reliable help in Duluth that actually understands high-end fashion. At least I still have Emma, a local high schooler who wants to study fashion design in college. But you're right. It can be challenging when people don't show up or don't have a strong work ethic. He leans forward, a twinkle in his gaze. "Could you use some help? For free? Maisie told me she saw an ad for Sue Ann's in the employment section of the Gazette." My mind swims with a viable reason for why Milo Adamski would be offering me free help and comes up empty. I remembered reading about his marriage in the paper and how his wife, Maisie, came with a ready-made family. But I don't think any of their kids are work-aged. What kind of help are we talking about? I don't have time to babysit someone. My staff needs to hit the ground running. If I have to spend massive amounts of time training, it's usually more efficient to just do things myself. A deep chuckle rumbles up from his chest. "Oh, this person will hit the ground running. And if they don't, I'll make sure they just hit the ground."
Chapter 2. Max. The metal digs into the fresh ice, but my muscles burn. My head throbs. My dry mouth feels like a Georgia cotton field. I curse my dull blades. Shit, I curse tequila. "Could you go any slower?" my teammate Blaine Rice grumps as he shoulder bumps me into the boards. "My grandpa wearing one of those inflatable Barney costumes could have made that pass. Coach is going to get pissed and make us skate sprints. Since you can't even skate a straight line, that won't go well. Then he'll start yelling. I hate yelling, especially when it's not my fault." I spit in the vicinity of my friend's skates. "Fuck you, sellout. You're supposed to have my back. This isn't Milo's Duluth youth traveling team, dipshit. This is the goddamn NHL, and you're no longer the heir apparent. You better start living up to the hype or you're going to find yourself on the wrong end of a trade. To the International League, in Siberia." I inhale a ragged breath. Blaine isn't wrong, although I won't admit it. For some reason, I can't get away with my drinking, brawling, man-whore ways anymore. In college, I was untouchable. The life of every party, the cock in every pussy, and the golden boy of every sponsor. Now I'm not the shark in the pond, more like a guppy, maybe an ugly carp. On the third line of the Duluth Caribou, the third line. I used to be the brightest star in the sky of hockey. Now the star skates right by me like a flash of breezers and skates. Adam Spencer. Asshole suffered a career-ending injury and still came back from the dead like motherfucking Jon Snow. I can scratch my way back to number one. I have to. Failing isn't an option. My mom needs to get out of that hunk of tin in Liberty Acres and into a nice townhouse, but even though I'm not a rookie anymore, I still have an entry-level contract with a release clause, and I can't spend the money until I secure my future. Without Milo Adamski and his youth hockey program scholarship, I'd still be there playing in my worn sneakers with a plastic stick and a net full of holes. Imagining the front office tearing my current six-figure year-to-year deal into tiny pieces, I promise myself and Blaine I'll give it 110%. At least the best my hungover brain and body can do. I can't resist one parting grump. Tell me again why we're here when it's our summer break? He gestures with his stick. Because it's a midsummer minicamp. If Spencer does it, we do it, capiche? Unlike you, I don't want to be a pine jockey all season. If we work hard, we can make the second line this season. Get more ice time. Coach wants to see effort and initiative, not dragging your ass because you can't process your liquor, or your women. A cough works its way up my throat. At least I don't have a crush on my childhood neighbor. Cora sits in your seats in this damn arena, but I bet she's never even seen you naked. He pokes me with his stick in the shin. She has too. In the bathtub. My eyes narrow into slits. You've been in the bathtub with Cora? Did she take her glasses off for you? Tell you to return your overdue library books? We might have chased Ebony into my mom's prized petunias, got all dirty and that shit. Mom doesn't like dirt tracked all over the carpet. The corners of my mouth tug upward even as my head throbs. In college? Thought your dog's name was Lightning. His gaze drifts to the ice beneath our skates. Kindergarten. As my laughter rings out, my mind drifts back to the woman who was riding my cock last night, and it only looks like a blur instead of a fantasy. Was she hot? Hell, I can't even remember her name. So what does that make me? I shake my head, the liquor making it feel foggy and slow, kind of like my legs as they try to skate faster than Spencer. Failing. Somehow I inhale and catch my second wind. I'm about to explode, Blaine. You won't be able to keep up. He shrugs. Make sure you do, because if you don't, your day is going to go straight from bad to worse. As Blaine stares into the stands of the practice arena, my eyes follow his path and land on a huge man sitting alone just above the glass. Damn and double damn. The only person in this world who can call me out on my shit and make me feel like a piece of it. The only person whose opinion I care one iota about. And that person is wearing a frown like he's just lost his last million in a bear market. Our eyes lock in a duel of wills, and of course I look away first. Once this scrimmage ends, Milo's going to demand my ass on a plate. I rein in a smile, remembering back to the first day I met Milo and how his size, deep voice, and supreme confidence almost made me shit my pants. Now I'm almost as big as he is, but I still defer to his wisdom and talent. I realize that in this league, and maybe even in life, a man has to pay his dues. So much for my life in the fast lane, I mutter. Looks like he brought some of his hockey kids to witness my shame. Blaine glances from me to the net. Fast lane? Today you're not even on the on-ramp. Screw you, asshole. If I went any faster, I'd lift off. He skates away from me, his laughter burning a hole in my gut. I shake the liquor-induced cobwebs from my head and buckle up. Milo's already pissed. I can tell by the set of his jaw and the beefy arms crossed on his massive chest. And the kid sitting next to him looks like he has a date with the Undertaker later. The scrawny little dude tugs on Milo's jeans, and the big guy ruffles his hair. Must be one of the kids he inherited when he married his wife, Maisie. Pretzel or some shit. Only met him once at a charity event for Milo's youth hockey program, and the kid seemed afraid of his own shadow. But Milo will fix that. He brings out the best in every kid he helps. He used to bring out the best in me, but my best seems to have turned into mediocre. After I work my ass off for the rest of the scrimmage, shower, and throw my stuff in my Caribou duffel bag, I head down the tunnel and toward the parking lot, knowing full well who will be standing outside in the glaring sun to tell me he's disappointed in me. Since there's no father to do it, he's the next best thing. Or maybe it's the next worst thing. Hey, underachiever, I've seen better passes during closing time at the local VFW. I hitch my gear higher up on my shoulder and fall into step beside him. Feeling a little sluggish today. Maybe I'm coming down with something. One eyebrow raises. Yeah, you're coming down with free agency in a shitty farm club in Topeka. Hope you like cold showers, no massage therapy, and folding chairs in the locker room. I stutter to a stop. I'll buckle down. Milo almost catapults his huge body into my back. I've heard that before. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt that says I'm with stupid. This time I mean it. I stare into Milo's eyes, but his are narrowed into slits. He fists his hands, probably trying not to pop me in the jaw. I'm getting to the point where I'm even sick of myself. Grunt and I both told you that womanizing and drinking would tank your career. We wanted you to learn from our mistakes, not make the same damn ones. You don't have to become a mug or anything, but you do have to put your career first, at least before your dick. If you don't watch it, you're going to knock up the wrong chick and then you're toast. Done. She'll take your scrawny ass for everything you don't have and then some. You'll lose those fancy digs on the hill and that pimped-out dually you worship. And no new townhouse for Anne. God, I admire that woman. Thoughts of becoming a father at 25 dance through my head until my stomach clenches into a tight ball. Not gonna happen. I'm always careful. I always wrap it. But then a memory intrudes like an ice pick to my brain. A woman in Fargo with a huge rack and legs for days. Her blonde hair sweeps over my body, and she whispers in my ear that she has fantasies about being the mother of my children right before she takes my dick down the back of her throat. When I'm drunk, I really don't have as much control as I think I do, because sometimes I don't even remember my own name, let alone whether I have a newish condom in my wallet. Shit. Am I really that bad? Have I thrown it all away on some expensive scotch and cheap pussy? My gaze lifts to meet his. I'll stop drinking. He gives me a little shove in the small of my back. Damn right you will. You owe me your shitty career. The career that should have put you in the ESPN highlight reel every single week. You know what, Monroe? Despite being one of the best kids to come out of my program, you're also one of the worst. You don't lack talent. You lack ambition, drive, initiative, and that's so much worse than the dudes who maybe don't have a stellar intuition or explosive speed, because those dudes work hard. They want it with every fiber of their being, and that makes them better than you at the end of the day. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Give me 2 solid weeks, Monroe. I can fix this shit, restore your focus, give you something to feel good about. You'll head to camp a new man. As the truth flows over me like a cocktail of regret, I stiffen my spine. So what do you suggest I do during this 2-week prison sentence? Besides stopping the drinking and banging. I don't want to volunteer at a charity. Whenever I do that, I get overwhelmed with fans pulling me in different directions. And you want me to lay off the women. When I volunteer, women throw themselves at me. I want to be out of sight and out of mind. Lay low, so to speak. Milo claps one of his massive mitts on my shoulder and clams down. I thought you'd never ask.
Chapter 3. Sue Ann. You have a really pretty pussy. I drop the rag and bone denim I hold in my right hand and snap my head around, ready to lay into the rude man standing in the doorway of my shop. After opening my mouth, I clamp it shut again. No words form. No thoughts form. Well, maybe some thoughts. Blue eyes the color of a still summer sky. Chiseled jawline. Scruffy beard. Long legs encased in distressed denim. Trim waist. Spiky black hair, muscles upon muscles, and more muscles. Our eyes lock and his full lips tug upward into a cheeky smirk. After a few more bemused moments, my sass kicks in and I puff myself up to my full 5'3" height. Excuse me? He points to the plum-colored velvet kitty bed. Your cat. She's all silky and stuff. It must take you a long time to comb her. In a heartbeat, I deflate. Almost like I wanted this cheeky Adonis to be talking about my lady bits instead. Because I can feel them right now. Damn ovaries. They're squeezing and clenching and calling this guy's name before they even know what it is. They're preparing to swoon. He's young. Like previous decade young. As I consider my wrinkles and cellulite, I realize he's definitely not for me. A sigh of regret whispers across my skin. She is a he. That's Catrick. His gaze is hot and curious all at the same time. Catrick. The intensity of that look whispers through me. Yeah, he's only named after the greatest movie of all time. He taps a tapered finger on his temple. Slapshot. I don't remember a Catrick. I put a hand on the indent of my hip and jutted out. Dirty Dancing, silly. Patrick Swayze, one of the hunks of our generation. At least my generation. He steps inside and that azure gaze sweeps my body, staying way too long on my full breasts for politeness. A blaze of heat erupts everywhere his eyes touch. Never saw it. How dirty was it? You'll have to help me out here. National Geographic or Pornhub? Flash. This guy naked and on his knees, worshipping my slick heat with his full lips. Flash. This guy peeling off those tight, distressed jeans so his huge cock escapes. Flash. This guy gripping my curvy hips and manhandling me onto the display table so he can sink inside me while my inner muscles flutter around him. I shake my head and refuse to let the fantasy take root, but my body doesn't go along for the ride, because it wants to ride him. He's got a baby face and not enough beard growth on it to matter. Totally off limits. Too bad, because it's been a long time for me. Years since I've had a man in my bed and months since I've even found one attractive, let alone this full-on panty-melting chemistry at a few innocent questions and heated looks. Only the dancing was dirty. So, can I help you with something? Girlfriend got a birthday coming up? Maybe he's shopping for his mother or his sister, even his nana. But I went and asked that. Because you want to know his answer even though you can't climb him like you do when you dress your favorite mannequin. I shove the voice of reason into the darkest recesses of my soul because an over-the-hill girl can still dream. He shoves a hand through his hair. Nah, no girlfriend. You women are too hard to buy for, and I'm not really here for a gift. My voice turns gritty as my throat tightens. No? My mind races with all the possible reasons he could be standing inside Sue Ann's when he doesn't want to buy something. He's not my customer, and that sucks, because it would have been the most fun I've had in a very long time, using my best skills to flirt my way to a huge sale with this hot-as-hell boy toy. That blue gaze sweeps the perimeter. I'm looking for Sue Ann Johnson, the owner. The statement lands like a promise. You're looking at her. Did I forget to cancel my Jelly of the Month club? The corners of my mouth tug upward. You're definitely not Publishers Clearinghouse, or you'd be holding one of those huge cardboard checks. Please don't tell me you're with the City Zoning Commission. Or even worse, the IRS. He laughs, and it completely transforms his face from simple panty melting into the Hallelujah chorus. I hate taxes. I leave that stuff to my accountant. This kid needs an accountant? You're going to have to help me out then. I have no idea why you're here. He inches closer. Too close. Not nearly close enough. Milo Adamski sent me. Could you use some help? For free? Milo's words float around through my mind until the breath stalls in my lungs. This is who he sent to work in my store. To spend time here. With me. Some muscle-bound hockey kid from his youth program? No, he's too old for that. Confusion rips through me, settling into my brain. Milo! Yeah, I said you two talked about it. He steps forward and holds out his huge hand. I stare at it until he gives it a little shake. I'm Max, at your service. At my service? I grip his fingers in mine and try to ignore the heat. The sizzling electric connection as our skin touches for the first time. And the last, if I have anything to say about it. All I can think about is getting rid of this kid so I can call Julia and unload. And then call Milo and tell him his assistance is no longer needed or welcome. For some warped reason, I just assumed he'd be sending over a teenage girl. Maybe the sister of one of his players.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?